Do you just kind of just look, okay, what pitching is needed today and figure out tomorrow after getting through?
Pretty much, yes. We'll just kind of, we know we got Ian going in Game 3. But it's going to be kind of a how we get there approach and take today's separately and just go out and try and do everything we can to win that game and worry about tomorrow.
We'll go to the fourth row on your right.
When Max first came up with you guys a few years ago, how long did it take for you to start to see him as a guy who could be able to handle big moments?
I loved his stuff from the get-go. When you watched him throw on the side in spring training, probably the first time I saw him, just saw the ability to spin the ball that he has, the live arm, the athleticism in the player, things that he can do to help him win games. I don't know that you ever know when they're going to be that guy, like for the big games and all, until they actually get there. But you know he has the stuff. It's just kind of like when you call a guy from AAA, the GM will call and it's like, you know what, he's done everything he can here, but when you put that third level on that, I have no idea how he's going to respond to that, and you don't know until you actually get him in that environment.
We'll go to Ron in the second row, and then Heidi.
How different is the normal World Series schedule this year in the way the games unfold compared to last year's LCS where you played 7 days in a row?
I know, this is so much better with the off days. Now I look back and I don't know how the hell we got through that last year, playing 7 games in a row. I mean, that was grueling for the players, for pitching. So this is, a lot better to plan, to just give a guy a day in the middle of this, a couple of days in the middle of these things, and it's just so much, the whole thing is just so much better. And I thought they did a great job. MLB did a great job under the circumstances last year in the bubble environments. Where we were in Arlington was spectacular, I thought. It was really, really good and well done. But it was tough to go 7 days in a row. It was pretty extensive. I think our extensive last year because we had an opener too. We had a bad start. Max threw 7 innings, I think, in one of the games, but he gave up 3 or 4 runs in the first inning and then settled in and went deep into that game. But it was you were more aware of that because with the lack of off days that where you're going to have to put a guy down. Right now we can kind of plan and go about it where, you see that off day looming and it kind of eases your mind a little bit that you're not going to have to put a guy down. With that kind of off day always seems to recharge everybody and you can start fresh again for a while.
We'll go to Heidi on your right.
With AJ throwing 43 pitches last night, is the plan to stay away from him tonight?
We figure he'd have today and then the off day tomorrow and then he'll be good to go on Game 3. Yeah.
And I apologize if you addressed this at the top, but having Rosario at the top of the lineup versus Soler, did you talk about that?
Yeah, no, I haven't. It was just that's kind of it was yesterday against the lefty, and I look back too, and I remember against Urias in L.A. I led Dansby off that game, so I said and kind of felt better about it because I think Eddie was 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs. That game hitting 5th like he did yesterday, but now it's just. To had every intention of having him back up there today.
Emma, all the way in the back right.
With Terrence Gore on this roster after not having him last round, what was the thinking behind getting that speed?
Just knowing with these games and just adding, because we didn't use the extra guy that much as I think we thought we would, and we just figured that's kind of a nice item to have on the bench, and in a situation where it is a big run. And there's a couple of guys we probably would run for, and to have that there, we just kind of felt was more important than the extra hitter.
And then we'll go back to Dave on the left.
Snit, Dansby made the error last night. It kind of pointed to the fact it's the first one you guys have had in the postseason. How critical has the defense been, especially in the last 3-4 months of the season?
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys have been unbelievable. I mean, you point to the first inning yesterday and that play Ozzie made. That's potential big inning right there after jumping out on top. And these guys have been so steady. They've been really, really good all year, in my opinion. I mean, I think for me, I got 4 Gold Glovers out there in the infield. And I think just the fact that they are is like you go out in any day and you see how consistent their work is and their preparation and what they do to prepare to play the game. And not to mention that they're, really athletic guys, too. I mean, they're good defenders.
And in the third row on your right here.
Brian, could you describe how important is Roberto Magallanes, Bobby Magallanes, to the coaching staff and also as a person, your thoughts?
My coaching staff?
Roberto Magallanes, Bobby Magallanes.
Bobby Magallanes?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How important is he?
Oh, no, he's good. Bobby has a really great relationship with a lot of the hitters. And he's, he's played the game, he's managed, he's coached, he's been in the game a long, long time. And a lot of these guys really value what he has to offer. I don't know. We have 3 hitting coaches and Chipper part-time. It's not too many, quite honestly. I mean, they all get along, they all speak the same language. And Bobby does a really good job with these guys. A lot of these guys trust him, and that's a big thing.
We'll go to Barry in the second row.
Hey, Snit. A couple of pitching questions for you. Obviously, what happened with Charlie was an anomaly, but it just seems that every team in the playoffs this year is short starting pitching. How much does that relate to last year's 60-game season, having to build back up to 162? And it seems like a lot of top-flight starters are gassed now.
Yeah, no, I don't. There may be something to that. People ask me why the injuries earlier in the year, because every time you see the ticker, there'd be injuries. And I don't know if I downplayed the 60 games and not 162 enough, because I've said, we had a great spring training, didn't miss any time, got all our work done in preparation. The guys were ready to go, and I don't know if it's a result. I honestly don't know if it's a result of that or not. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
And as far as your pitching goes, I mean, even with your 3 starters, you needed a bullpen game against the Dodgers. Now with Charlie down, are you looking at 2 bullpen games somewhere along the way here?
Yeah, probably. And we have guys that we can start that are stretched out. I mean, even if we go a bullpen game with an opener, we'll probably have somebody that we can bring in behind them that can extend the game for, and it's harder to do that when we're going to be in Atlanta, because the pitcher spot and hitting is going to come around, sooner. It's easier to do that in the American League and with the DH. So when we're going to have to do that at least once, it's going to be in a National League game. But, yeah, I mean, bless you. We were kind of dealt a bad hand yesterday, and we're just going to have, we'll keep going. I mean, we're going to keep going, and we'll figure this thing out somehow.
A couple last ones. Tyler, on your right.
Sid, considering that attrition rate among pitchers that we've seen this year, what do you think about the idea of expanding the playoffs? Does that make sense to you, or do you like it the way it is?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't thought about it. I've been so wrapped up in everything I'm doing, I haven't let myself even entertain thoughts like that. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Other questions for Snit? All right. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you.
Luke Jackson and Tucker Davidson will be in here momentarily.